Hey everybody, Hellcrex here, and welcome to another Mercenary Thoughts from the Inner Sphere. And today we're going to be talking about the Stealth, the 45-ton mech that, well, actually it's kind of more of a heavy-duty scout. I would say it's almost acts like a spider in a way, but with more armor and, well, internal structure. Now, the Stealth is 45 tons, has endo steel, so it has some savings right there, 2 tons. It has a 315 XL engine, which, all right, I'm not a big fan of XL engines, but at least they did something right. It's a 711-7. All right, so you got some speed with it. Actually, it's a 711-14-7 because it has mask. Even though me and Mass don't really get along too well, but at least with this mech, you have something that can, well, doesn't necessarily have to use the mask. Because a lot of times when you got 7 jump jets, you can get around pretty good. Now, it has 10 double heat sinks, so it's well synced. It basically can fire all of its weapons and jump and not worry too much about a heat problem when it comes to this mech. Yeah, it's going to have a little bit of heat with it, possibly. I don't think. Let's see. No, not really. It's one of those mechs that runs cool. All right, unless it gets hit by some inferno rounds or something. Otherwise, it's doing pretty well. Now, it does have 152 points of armor, which, heck, that's, I think, pretty close to being maxed out, if I do believe. So when you're looking at that aspect of it, you know, at least for once you get a mech that, personally, I'm just like, if you're going to put XL engines on something, speed it up and max out its armor and then see what's left over to play with. That's the way I look at it. Because if you're going to run XLs, you at least got to max that armor out so it at least survives a little bit longer. Now, weapon systems on board, you have an SRM-6 and a ton of ammo in the left torso. You have a Streak 2 with a ton of ammo in the right torso. All right, okay. We'll talk about that in a second. Then we have a medium laser in the left and right torso each. We have mask in the left torso. We have a beagle probe in the right torso. And then we have jump jets in the left torso and right torso in the center. All right. So you got 3 jump jets in each right and left torso, and then 1 in the center. Okay. This is pretty much a pure scout mech. Really, it armored well enough to sort of do the anti-scout role, but it's pretty much, you know, if you're going out there and try to find hidden objects and stuff like that, you know, with the Beagle probe, that's the whole purpose of it. And it does have a little bit of firepower on board to, you know, it's not a lot. It can dish out, what, 22 points, 26, I think, at max, which is pretty respectable if you hit with everything. But, you know, that's all within 9. So it's not anything that shoots out a long distance at all. So there you go. It can be something respectable if you get in close with it. Now, already touched on it has XL engine, so you know, like I said, if you're gonna throw XLs on, at least speed it up. And then the biggest glaring thing that I have with this is that, okay, you got an SRM-6, then you put a Streak missile system on board, a Streak 2. Yeah. If you're going to do that, I would prefer that you run the same type of weapon system on board. It's like 2 SRM-6s. All right. That would mean you would have to drop a half a ton of armor to do so. Or you could throw on, let's say, 2 SRM-4s and run it that way. All right. But I'm not a fan of mix matching. It's like, all right, you got SRM Streaks over here, then you got regular SRMs over here. So you're, okay, one could throw smoke, okay, one can do that, and the other one is going to be the plinker 2-point shot here or there. All right, I could see that, but I'm not a big fan of having multiple systems that can do, it's like, okay, that's like putting an SRM-6 and an SRM-4 on a mech. They don't, they're SRMs. You might as well just go with 2 SRM-4s. Just, at least then share the ammo and save some tonnage to put someplace else. All right. So that was a big thing that I don't care much for. Now, pretty much this is a mech that it's got the speed. It can get in there pretty quickly. It's similar, acts similar to a Jenner. When you look at it that way, it's a little heavier. So if you got a Jenner with the XL engines on board and it's a 711, possibly 7, it's acting the same way. You're getting some good speed out of it. Hopefully you're getting that 3 to 4 mod. If you're going in a straight line, yeah, you can get a 4 mod. Or if you jump 7, you can get a 4 mod. So that's the best way to look at this mech, is like, okay, either running, if you got a straight line, do so, or jump. So you could maximize your capability of staying alive. And you're a scout. Your purpose is to stay alive and be the eyes and ears. So it may be that you got this mech tossed into a fire support team where you got 3 mechs with LRMs, and you can throw this out there, and this is the eyes for you. And you want them to stay alive. You want them to keep them moving around. All right, that's what you got to do. Because a light mech or a medium mech that slows down and takes the hits isn't around very long, especially one with XL engines. So it's one of those mechs where you got to keep yourself in cover and concealment constantly. You got to you got to look out like 2 turns ahead. Where am I going to go? Where's the best place to put this mech to give myself the best advantage possible? So that's how I look at it when it comes to this mech. Now, there are a few different variants of this mech. There is the 2D. This one basically removes the weapons from it and retains the active probe, and it gives it a Streak 6 launcher. So we're talking a little bit farther down the line. A Streak 6 launcher and a trio of ER medium lasers. Okay, that's not bad. That answers the question for me. If you're going to put a Streak system on, I'm rather you throw a Streak 6 at least. It's heavier. Sure, you do. Well, it's the same as having 3 Streak 2s, but, I'd rather just throw them all at once. If it's going to fire, it's going to fire. If it's not, it's not. All right. So I kind of like, I'm always a fan of Streak 6s versus Streak 4s and 2s. I've never been a fan of a Streak 2. To me, it's just like kind of a, not a really big fan of just like plink, plink, and you're done. I'd rather just hammer somebody pretty hard with 6 of them. If you get a bunch of streaks on board somebody, you're going to do some good damage against somebody if you lock on with everything. And then having 3 ER medium lasers, at least you got some range with this. So there's that. Then you got the 2D1 version. Removes the ER medium laser and replaces it with a C3 slave. So now you only have 2. You got the Streak 6, 2 ER medium lasers, and then you got a slave on board. So this really becomes a eyes and ear of a lance. So if you have somebody with a command vehicle that is carrying around the master, and then this guy's running around out front with speed, getting in close, so you're able to, do some spotting for somebody and you're longer range, let's say if you got some PPCs or LRM boats or something like that farther back, then at least they can shoot out at a good distance and use your distance to, you know, shorten it up and possibly hit better. Then there's a 2D2. Sounds like a droid or something. It's droid 2D2, come here. It removes an ER medium laser from the 2D and replaces it with tag. All right, so now you can spot for Aero 4 systems, artillery. You know, that's a good deal. So it's even becoming more, so you could have a C3, a tag, but so it's like you get two different versions there. You could have the C3 version or you can have the tag version. So even though the C3 is going to do the job for you. But if you want to have it specifically running around as an artillery spotter, you can go that route. If you have a battery of artillery and you run this guy around and like tagging people and go, hey, heck, congratulations, here comes a bunch of artillery in on you. Then there's the 3S version of the Stealth. It does have stealth armor. It has a single PPC, ER PPC. So stealth armor and a PPC, so it kind of runs hot. So it better have, if it's still running around with these 10 double heat sinks, you can fire the stealth armor on and fire the PPC. You're going 5 up even if you're not moving. If you are moving, then you're even up more. So you can't do that very often. That's going to be a hot mech unless you got a bunch of extra heat sinks with it. And then there's the 5X. This has composite structures. It has XL engines, mask. And then it has the active probe. And it does have clan systems on board. So you got a clan probe, ECM, Streak 6, and ER medium lasers. And 2 ER flamers. So basically this is a clan redesign mech that, you know, way down the line where you're actually producing clan tech for the inner sphere. So not bad. It'd be an interesting little experiment to play with in a game or two later down the line. But overall, that is the Stealth. It's not something that is horrible, but it's one of those mechs that you're not wanting to get into a knockdown, drag out fight. It is a pure scout. Its job is to do scouting. If you put it in a role of just going up there and trying to knock heads with somebody, it's going to come out on the worst end of the spectrum, especially against heavier mechs. They're able to hit it better. And if you're going against, let's say, clans with good pilots and equipment, well, you're probably not long for the world anyway. All right, so that is the Stealth. Hope you guys liked this one. Like and subscribe, share with friends, and we'll see you in the next one. Hellcraig's out.